big beautiful bill Medicaid cuts. I'm for it because I'm an able-bodied American citizen right now. I'm headed to work. I work at least 40 hours a week. People need to stop just getting free benefits. If you can go to work, you need to go to work because we're tired of paying for everybody. So Medicaid cuts, we're here for it.
It's my mother-in-law. She worked 40 hours a week too at the same company for 32 years, and she was union, and then she got brain tumors and she lost her health insurance because if you're not working, you're going to lose your health insurance, and then Medicaid and Medicare kick in. Every single person is one tragedy away from having to be on Medicaid and Medicare. You're one brain tumor, one car accident, and for you specifically, looking at you, I can tell you're one heart attack away from needing Medicaid and Medicare. Now, I know that you think everybody that's on them is lazy illegals, but guess what? One day, you're going to need it and you're not going to have it. And it's not you that's paying everything. It's people like me, the younger generation, that are paying for that for you, for her. Now, thank God that she had successful children that can subsidize her way of life, because Medicare and Medicaid, it don't cover it all. You're going to be in poverty forever, and you're going to lose your house, you're going to lose your home, you're going to lose everything that you ever worked for, and you're going to have to move in with your kids. So I hope that you have fucking rich kids, because you just made that little tiny entitlement that you're going to need fucking smaller. I would like people like you to think of the future. You're going to need it. For you, it's probably going to be a couple years, all right? Because I could tell you've probably been eating butter and fried chicken for the last 20 years.
Rather than myself having like a full plate of food along with my kids, I'm making sure that they have a full plate of food and their bellies are full, and I may have either less or I may not eat what they are eating just for the sake that they are getting enough and they're not going to bed hungry.
So mom's having to sometimes skip a meal or curb?
Yes.
Onita Norris is a single mom who works at a university in West Virginia. She relies on SNAP benefits, also known as food stamps, to help feed her family. The government shutdown has cut back funding for the program.
I mean, I went to college. I did all the things they say you're supposed to do. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And I'm still looking at my bank account like, but why isn't it cutting it? Why isn't it enough?
Norris earns about $2,800 a month, working 40 hours a week. About half of that goes to rent, the rest to daycare and utilities, leaving her with about $100 for other expenses, like groceries.
You said you feel like you're failing. Can you unpack that a little bit more?
I'll try not to cry. My kids. It feels like I'm failing them because I am trying. I'm trying to do all that I can. Of course, as a human, you get frustrated, and I never want my kids to see that or feel like I'm taking that out on them for something as simple as dinner. And I know they're watching. And yeah, I feel like I'm failing them.
Across West Virginia, some 270,000 people are enrolled in the SNAP program.
I just don't understand how we've come to a point where we're using food in politics and being essentially political pawns.
A woman in West Virginia who was one of Donald Trump's biggest supporters now regrets her vote for Trump because he fired her from the federal government. Just take a look at the clip.
This flag used to hang there.
This was the flag Jennifer Piggott proudly hung outside her home during campaign 2024.
We had the flag. I had the shirt. I was a MAGA junkie.
A MAGA junkie who thought her government job would be safe with Donald Trump in office. She was wrong.
I cried. It's scary, you know, it's a really scary thing. And I was embarrassed.
He's a good boy.
Piggott was abruptly fired last month from the Treasury Department's Bureau of Fiscal Service, based here in Parkersburg, West Virginia. The reason given for the firings of 125 probationary employees at the Bureau? Poor performance.
I had my last review on the 31st of January, and I had the highest rating that you can get on a review, less than 21 days before I was terminated for my performance.
You voted for Donald Trump.
I did.
Do you regret that vote?
Yes, I do. To cut the knees out of the working class Americans just doesn't make sense to me. I expected more from President Donald Trump.
Since speaking out, Piggott says she's received death threats and her home has been egged.
Yeah, she had her flag out, she wore the t-shirt, she was very much in Donald Trump's corner, and now she regrets it. She would not have voted for Donald Trump again, and you're seeing this sentiment all over the country. There were a lot of people out there who voted for Donald Trump to lower grocery prices or lower gas prices. Now, obviously, that's not happening, and instead, he's firing people from their jobs and destroying the federal government. We are already seeing a lot of regret from Trump voters, and I think that's only going to increase, just like you saw there.
Well, the red state of West Virginia. Yes, they voted for Donald J. Trump. This factory is closing. Employees clocking out of this plant for the last time. Fairmount, West Virginia. This plant has been around for many, many years. About 200 people are losing their jobs. I guess they're winning. West Virginia is getting everything they voted for. I mean, waste, fraud, and abuse. I sure hope these factory workers get another job soon, considering companies are laying off 160 companies this month, just in June. And also we're cutting all these social benefits, you know, like for people who get laid off or down and out on their luck. So West Virginia, I guess this is your FAFO. So much winning you red states have. Congratulations, I guess.
They've been killing poor people since the first document hit parchment. That is not exaggeration. It is blood-soaked history. They wrote genocide into the founding papers, built fortunes on stolen bodies, called theft a free market, and lynching law and order. The war did not start with Trump or Biden or Reagan. It started when they decided some lives were worth more than others and built a government to enforce it. Someone asked me the other day what the breaking point is. I told them that's long gone. We're not approaching collapse. We're breathing it. This place was never neutral. It was designed to chew up the vulnerable and spit out wealth. Enslavement was not a mistake. Reservations weren't an accident. The prison system did not spiral out of control. It evolved on purpose. Property rights replaced shackles. Wages replaced whips. The economy runs on controlled misery. Cis heteropatriarchy ain't a side effect. It's a command system. Same with white supremacy. It doesn't malfunction. It feeds the machine. Every time a black trans kid gets murdered or a poor white mother ODs in a motel bathtub, the system keeps humming. It's working. That is the horror. Capitalism survives by consuming the bodies it pretends to serve. The state is not here to protect you. It's there to punish deviation, to isolate, to crush. Public schools warehouse children until they're ready for low-wage labor or a sale. Courts don't deliver justice. They hand out sentences based on zip code. Prisons are industries. Incarcerated people are forced to work for pennies an hour under threat of punishment. That is slavery, legalized and enforced. Welfare offices are not safety nets. They're control centers. Get in line, sit down, sign here, smile for the camera while your food stamps get slashed and your caseworker ignores your appeal. This is not theoretical. I have seen people bleed out in parking lots, watched corpses rot in trailers while pharmacies locked up insulin behind bulletproof glass, buried friends who froze to death because shelters were full and cops pushed them out of sight. No agency exists to help. Each one is built to extract labor, suppress resistance, and enforce control. That is not dysfunction. That is the blueprint. People keep acting like we're waiting for something worse. It's already here. The government let over 100,000 people die of overdose last year. Half this country cannot afford rent. 27 million people lost Medicaid. Corporations bought Congress, then raised grocery prices while breaking profit records. Every institution is in on it. People have to feel it in their gut. Must recognize that silence is surrender, and surrender leads to death. Not eventually, immediately. Housing will disappear. Food will run out. Children will suffer without care. Water will turn toxic. Jobs will vanish without warning. The state will cage them or leave them to die. That is the cost of staying quiet. Belief will not save us. Voting won't save us. Hope without action is just surrender dressed up pretty. It takes desperation. It takes the clarity to know that nobody is coming to fix this. Not the courts, not the nonprofits, and not the politicians. We fix it or we get crushed. You do not negotiate with a boot on your neck. You push it off or you suffocate. This is class war. Always has been, and the only way out is through.
Country roads, take me home to the lands I belong, West Virginia. So it's really scary what's happening in our states. Some of the states we love, maybe from music, from the culture, whatever. But the economies are being destroyed deliberately by the government. Some are telling me your thoughts in the comment section. Let's engage, because the issues that are affecting our country, they are real and they are designed by the government. They are a coordinated attack against our people. Let's continue watching.
We have some big news right now. Rural hospitals in Virginia are set to close soon because of Donald Trump's big budget bill. According to the Augusta Medical Center, 3 rural hospitals in rural Virginia will soon be consolidated as a result of the impacts of the bill. Virginia is set to lose $29+ billion in Medicaid funding as a result of the budget bill that was passed and signed into law earlier this year. And we're now seeing the impacts. We're seeing the impacts with rural hospitals closing. Yes, I'm on an airplane, but the news does not stop for anyone or anything, so make sure to subscribe to my Substack at the link in my bio to support my work. But this is just the beginning. We're going to see more rural hospitals closing, not just in Virginia, but across the country. We're going to see more people lose access to healthcare, more people lose access to Medicaid. This is just the beginning. As always, spread the word. I'll do a full breakdown of this and more on that Substack linked in bio. Follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. I will have much more coming soon.
Biggest problem in Appalachia:
the lack of jobs.
There's no opportunity here.
I drive 60 miles each way to make a decent living. Can't wait to get out of here.
Appalachia's been left behind?
Pretty much so, yeah. That sucks.
It's a crap hole.
Do you work?
Not right now.
It's nothing like it used to be. Walmart killed the town. Only thing here is gas stations and restaurants.
All the work moved closer toward Pennsylvania and Ohio. People got laid off. Most of them just came back and went on unemployment or tried to draw SSI. 90% of this town is
SSI?
Yeah.
They're mining coal right now. In this area, there's no other jobs that pays as good as it does.
So is SSI for a disability?
Yeah. I can't read, I can't write. They'll give you a little test. You got to put like blocks and shit together.
Fail the test on purpose and you get the check.
Free money.
I live in West Virginia. It's cheap to live.
We're wondering how much rent is above.
One room, $450. You share it back down on the street.
What are the health risks associated with the work they're doing right now today?
The black lung issue, coal dust attaches to your lung, creates what cigarette smoke does in a sense.
Are you all right?
Breathe.
6% unemployment in some states, including Washington, D.C., which is the highest. The average is 4.3%. Inflation rose to 2.9%. Foreclosures for homes are up 18% higher than last year. Auto repossessions are skyrocketing. Farmers are begging for help. In Detroit this week, a manufacturer announced that they would quash a $50 million deal that took 3 years. Subaru is pulling out of the United States of America. Marvel is pulling out of the United States of America. The South Korean Hyundai plant was raided. That would have brought $21 billion to the state of Georgia. Thousands of jobs. We have lost over 1 million jobs in less than 9 months in 2025. Vegetables are up 38%. We now pay a tariff, a tax, anywhere from 10 to 147%. Tariffs are taxes that the U.S. importer pays and passes on to you, the consumer. Every single country has stopped doing business with the United States of America. We are spending $1 trillion on the Department of War, $250 billion on deporting brown people who actually pay taxes and also contribute to the gross domestic product. Are we great yet?
Oh, West Virginia, the state that brought us deliverance and dog whistles, who puts the broke in Brokeback Mountain. Well, their Republican governor, Patrick Morrisey, had a special turkey dinner for the entire state legislature the other night, where instead of calling a special session to where they could have released SNAP benefits to the 1 in 5 West Virginians that currently use those benefits. No. Instead, what came out of that turkey dinner was the entire Republican Party of West Virginia trying to get 27 counties from Virginia to join West Virginia and another 3 counties from Maryland. And another 1 in 5 West Virginian residents is also on disability in some form. A state that is 98% with, well, they don't look like me. I have my teeth and my brain cells, but you get the point. In West Virginia, I think you deserve a livable wage. I think you deserve a roof over your head. I think you deserve food in your belly. I think you deserve Medicare for all. But how do you people continuously vote for Republicans on the state and the federal level that view you as a parasite? They literally come out and say it. But because you think they're talking about black people in another state or brown people in another state, you identify with what's coming out of their mouth. And the reason they're going to need those 30 counties to join West Virginia is because you have nothing going for you. Instead of adopting what Pittsburgh did over the last 40 years and moving on from a steel community to a tech community, you people have continued to stay in the days of deliverance instead of delivering to your people.
And to everyone watching my videos, everything is at stake. There is no room for mistake anymore. We have seen what Republicans can really do when they have power. We can really see what Republicans can do when they are drunk with power. Republicans cannot be trusted with power in this country anymore, because all they bring is destruction, all they bring is death, all they bring is crisis, you know what I mean? So it's really a mess we are in as a country, especially the red states. Everything it's collapsing in the red states. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section. Maybe if you are a blue dot in the red state, tell me what's really happening in your state. I would like to hear from the horse's mouth. Tell me in the comment section.
The record, yeah, I think the 19th Amendment should be repealed. I think that because, well, first and foremost, because I'm a Christian, and that is the Christian position. Oh my gosh, you're saying that? Yes, that is the Christian position, is that households should not be divided against one another. So by repealing the 19th Amendment, just for the record, it's not just trying to take away a female vote, but it's trying to say, no, there's a family vote. Right. There's a household. And it's like, well, where do women get their voice? Well, where women get their voice is from their father, from their husband. If they're not married, it's from their father. If they're not married and their father is dead, it's from their brother, it's from their uncle, it's the men in their lives that love them.
That they didn't know who Joel Webbon is, and they didn't know why it mattered, or he mattered a lot more to us. And that's part of the issue that I am encountering, is that a lot of MAGA people don't actually know what Trump and the second term is about. And it's not about making America great. I can tell you that right now. One of the sponsors of Project 2025 is the CFRA. And the CFRA is directly linked to an internal Christo-fascist memo that Joel Webbon and some of these other lunatics edited and co-authored, which states that the second Trump term, a big part of that is going to be
this Christo-fascist country that they want to create, Christian nationalism, where your rights as a woman are going to be severely limited. Joel Webben is talking about repealing the 19th Amendment and that women's votes should count towards their husband's votes. And if they're not married, then it's their father's votes. And if their father is dead, then it's their brother's votes. Joel Webben is a proponent that of no-fault divorce, right? So if your husband is raping you and beating you, sorry, lady, that's God's law. That sucks for you. You can't get out. Joel Webben is a proponent that IVF is evil, and so is contraception. And the people that have signed on to Project 2025, it's not like they're just like this guy. Some of these people are senators. Some of these people have deep pockets, and they don't actually care if it hurts America. What they care about is control, because they're fascists, and that's what fascists do. But they're coming in the idea of the holy rose this time, but they're talking about armed confrontations. These people are the same people who said that we're in the midst of a second American Revolution, and as long as the left does not protest, it will remain bloodless. These are the same people who are openly discussing a theonomy, who are talking about how to get around words that set off alarm bells in the population so that they can pass laws that will limit your rights. And that's who Trump is letting in. That's what J.D. Vance and Peter Thiel and all of these lunatics believe, that we need to go back to a Christo white-run country without women in any power, without minorities, without different religions. And it is the Al-Qaeda. This is the American Taliban. And what they're talking about is genuinely scary. And you should know this. If you're voting for Trump, that's what they're trying to usher in.
Do you want to know what it's like to live in a state where abortion is almost completely banned? I went to West Virginia and Kentucky, and I met with women who shared what that reality is like. Here are some of their stories.
I had a doctor in West Virginia tell me that I had to get to a rate of a fountain of blood before he could treat me with an emergency C-section when my pregnancy had a 0% chance to make it. I was not willing to get to the point of hemorrhaging. I had 3 kids at home who needed me, and I wasn't willing to affect my future fertility as well. So I signed myself out. I drove 6 hours to DC to have an abortion at 27 weeks to make sure that my son Case didn't suffer and that I was able to still be there for my 3 kids. And I was able to go on to have another healthy, happy little boy now because my future fertility was saved with an abortion. So what I would say to legislators, especially here in West Virginia, that you should just be careful getting pregnant. This was a wanted pregnancy. It was a surprise, but we quickly got excited and we wanted him, and we didn't find out anything was wrong until my 20-week scan, where I immediately still tried to save him. And you could just never predict what could happen. Things go wrong. Pregnancy is a scary, hard, complicated thing that should not be legislated, especially in cases that affect the person, the parent. Because I was not willing to get to the point of being too close to death. I was denied a life-saving abortion, and that's not okay, and it shouldn't be legislated.
I am 6 months pregnant in West Virginia right now, where we have a near total abortion ban, which right now, and since Roe was overturned, has been scary. But I feel like my unborn child has more rights than I do right now. Choosing a healthcare provider, like in this territory, is terrifying because you have to. It's not like your OB is going to come out and say, "Yeah, I'm a Democrat." You have to kind of ask probing questions to see kind of where they're leaning. So like that in and of itself was overwhelming. I do feel like I've found an OB that I can trust, but then you have to sit and think about EMTALA has been revoked. So my OB will be in fear of losing her license if something were to happen and she oversteps and is trying to save my life, which I do think she would do, but she also has to like try to protect herself in that situation. So it's just a lot to think about. I mean, I have, a family, I have a stepdaughter and a husband that I would like to be around for. Obviously, like, I want my baby, and I made this choice, which I should have the choice to, get pregnant and do those things. But I don't want him in return for myself, like I want to be around and enjoy him as well, and live my life and be there for my husband and my bonus daughter and the rest of my family.
I'm Lindsay. I live in Lexington, Kentucky, and I'm a mom. I've wanted to be a mom as long as I could remember, but becoming a mom was really hard. I had to go through IVF and then had a series of losses. When I finally became pregnant with twins, we were so excited. But at our early ultrasounds, we could tell something was wrong with one of the babies. The doctors told us that that baby had some serious issues and probably wasn't going to live to see even one day. And that meant that the other baby was in trouble too, even though he was totally healthy. So they told me that I needed to make a decision. I could either end the life of the sick baby and try and save the other one, or I could run the risk of losing them both. So I had to make a really hard decision, one I never wanted to make. I decided that I needed to save the life of my healthy baby by ending the life of a baby I loved. But I couldn't do that here. They told me the nearest place I could go was North Carolina, and if I wanted an expert with lots of experience, then I had to go to New York. So we had to fly while I was pregnant and had no money all the way to New York City. And that was so scary. But the doctor in New York was great. He was kind and patient. He talked to me through everything. He answered all my questions. He didn't let me feel alone. So my husband and I went to his office a few times. We got some testing done to find out what was going on with the sick baby, and also some testing to make sure that my healthy baby was truly healthy. So after a few days in New York, we ended the life of the sick baby. And while I'm really sad about that, I wouldn't change a thing, because I needed my son to survive, and he's a healthy 2-year-old. He's everything I could ever hope for, and he's made our family complete. So while it was a hard decision, it was the right one. And I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to do that so that my family didn't have a bigger tragedy on our hands.
So what it feels like living in West Virginia with a total abortion ban is it feels terrifying and really horrible, and like we are subpar citizens, which we are being treated like around the country at the moment. And it's terrifying because they took away our health care, which led me to telling my husband that he should have a vasectomy rather than having the 3rd child that we wanted, or maybe 4th or 5th. It's very ironic that they want us to reproduce, and now the birth rates are lower than they ever have been because we don't want to reproduce because it's not safe. And I wish it were, because for me, it would mean more children. I was born to be a mom. I would have loved to have had more children, but it's not safe for me, and I have to stay living for my living children.
Hey, I'm from West Virginia, and me and my family are in the coal mining business. My father and my brother and my husband all work in the coal mines, and we are losing what little money we have due to these Chinese tariffs. China is the #1 country that we export coal to from West Virginia. And now they're not buying it from us anymore. They're buying it from other countries, and they're working on renewable energy so that they don't even need coal. We all voted Republican, and we always have, but we didn't ask for this. I mean, China and Canada have both said that they're going to target the red states specifically until Trump lifts these tariffs. It's like he didn't think far enough ahead as to what would happen when he put all these tariffs on. I mean, they're targeting the red states. That's us. Like, it's bankrupting everyone I know, basically. and we're the ones that put him in office. So like, it's just so confusing. On top of that, my dad told me that the coal mining industry in general needs stability in the markets, and so everything he's doing is destabilizing the stock market, and so that is just really affecting us too. And you know, I got kids that I gotta feed, and we already have a really tough life here as coal miners. We're sick all the time. Everyone's addicted to opioids, and you know, now we the little bit of money we have is being taken away by the man that we voted for.
Thank you everyone who has watched this video to the end. It's really amazing, and it's always amazing having you here talking and discussing our ideas. And my wake-up call to each one of you who might watch my video up to here is that during the next election, ensure that you carry someone to the ballot box. Don't go alone. Ensure that your neighbor has voted, because that's the only way we can save this beautiful country of ours. You know, there is no other United States. There is no other West Virginia. There is no any other Arkansas. There is no any other Texas. No any other California. No any other New York. It's the only New York we have, the only Louisiana we have, the only Oklahoma we have, the only Arkansas we have, the only Wisconsin we have, the only Minnesota we have. It will remain ours, and we must defend it. You know what I mean? In 1940s, when we were fighting Adolf Hitler, many people died for a cause. After 9/11, many Americans, young Americans, even people abandoned their careers to fight for this beautiful country. And one question I usually ask, where is that patriotism? Why is it? Now, we are suffering another crisis, not from Adolf Hitler, not from New York Twin Tower bombing, nothing. We are facing terrorism from the Trump administration. And we have one weapon, our voice at the ballot box. It is our patriotic duty to vote against Donald Trump. It is. And if you don't believe so, when United States collapses, you will have nowhere to go to. Now, let's look at failed states. North Korea, Sudan. Which is the other? Tell me in the comment section. Failed states. Which is the other failed states? Venezuela. Do you want our country to become a failed state? No, or maybe yes. And if no, if you are silent and you don't vote, you are complicit. You are a Republican. If you are an independent and you are voting against the interest of the majority of Americans, you are too complicit in the destruction of our beautiful country. There will be no other Alaska. There will be no other Washington. There will be no other Florida. The only Florida that our founding fathers left us, it will be the same Florida. And it will be the same Florida that will be living to our future generations. So my question is, which country or what kind of America do you want to live to the future generations? The one that Trump and his billionaires have destroyed everything? Or the one that you and your neighbor went to the ballot box and decided to vote again, to vote for your interest and for interest of the future generations? Tell me in the comment section. So what I usually say is stay alert, stay focused, don't fail for the government psyop. Talk blue, watch blue, listen blue, vote blue, and until the next video, thank you for your attention to this matter.